guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine. So once again, it's been a while since my last video. Again, I apologize. It's been super hectic for the past few months. I returned back to work, so that's been keeping me busy, and then I just get so tired. So reading has not been on my mind as much, and exhaustion has, and so I haven't been reading as much, but I still did read some pretty good books and some not so great books. I'm going to be doing a 3-month wrap up, and I'll basically be wrapping up the months of July, August, and September. And for those 3 months, I read a total of 8 books, which isn't a lot for some people, but it is a lot for me. But I am trying to get back on my reading again while juggling everything else in my life. But anyways, let's get right into the video. I don't know which books I read for which month, but I'm just going to go in chronological order, starting with the Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This book was amazing. I gave it, I believe, a 4.5 star or 4 star, 4.5 star out of 5, and it's just such a beautiful, detailed book. Basically, the Night Circus is about 2 characters named Celia and Marco, who were raised to strengthen and hone their skills so that as adults they can duel each other to show who is the better magician. The duel takes place at a night circus where there are other players involved, and the whole Night Circus atmosphere is so spot on and so beautiful. The reason I gave it a 4.5 stars is because I did not find Marco a likable character. He is the only person I did not like in the book. I loved all the characters. I really loved all the supporting characters. They all had great backstories, but Marco's character was definitely not my favorite. I don't know, he was just annoying, kind of childish, kind of immature, and so I didn't really like him. I think Celia was too good for him. But aside from that, I really enjoyed the book. I think Erin Morgenstern did a fantastic job using descriptive words to describe the circus. I felt like I was there myself. I did not find it to be purple prosy, even with all the details and the way she writes. It's very, very flowery. I did not find it to be too much where I don't know what she's saying, or what she's saying is unnecessary. I felt like it was a good amount where I could keep pace with the plot, still understand what's happening, and everything like that. So aside from Marco, I really did enjoy this book. After that, I read I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. And I know it's a YA classic and I'm behind. Like, all these books that I read are basically me trying to catch up. But, oh my goodness, such a great book. 5 out of 5 stars. This book is about siblings Noah and Jude. And this book starts off at them at the age of 13 and jumps to the age of 16 and goes back and forth between those ages. Basically, at the age of 13, Noah and Jude are completely inseparable. They love each other, they're always with each other, they're always hanging around each other. Whatever they're doing, they're always with each other. And then we fast forward to the age of 16, and they're both living totally separate lives almost. They don't talk to each other that much. They're both kind of doing their own thing. And we get a look from both of their perspectives at what happened between those years from 13 to 16 that led them to not talk as much. And it's, this whole story is so crazy but so good. This book was just mind-blowing. Like, this book is filled with love and loss and betrayal and grief and sibling rivalry and trying to please your parents, and everything under the sun is found in this book. And I think that even, because for me personally, I'm not too crazy about YA books because I'm an adult and I just can't relate to YA characters that much, but this YA book is great. And I really feel like if you're like me and you're not crazy about YA books, I really think you'll still like this. So if you haven't read it, I would definitely give it a chance. It is such a phenomenal book. I love it, and after finishing it, I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was that good. After that, I read Still Me by Jojo Moyes, which is the 3rd and I believe the final book in the Me Before You series. And this was just awful. I think I gave it like a 1.5 to 2 stars. Honestly, I don't even really want to talk about this book because it was so torturous to read. Basically, this book is about Louisa Clark traveling from England to New York to take care of a wealthy family and basically be kind of like their housekeeper. And it's about her adventures in New York and, you know, understanding American culture, American life, American way of living and all that stuff. And it's boring, you know, honestly. The books after the first book, Me Before You, which I love dearly so much, it went downhill, and I disliked Louisa Clark's character after the first book. Honestly, I couldn't like a single character in any of the books after the first book. I don't even know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I did not like this book. This whole series shouldn't have happened. Honestly, we could have just stopped at the first book, call it a day, but I don't know. So that's all I gotta say. Did not like it, and that's all. After that tragic book, I read a nonfiction, which is Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson. This is my first book by Neil deGrasse Tyson, and honestly, it was a short read. It was a great read, very condensed. I don't think that as a reader you need to know everything about astrophysics to understand or digest this book. It's very digestible, and he explains concepts very well, theories, terminology very well. Although I do feel like with this book, there is that assumption that the reader knows a little bit about physics. And so there's that. But aside from that, it was really great. I read the whole book in Neil deGrasse Tyson's voice in my head. And I can't wait till I read his other books, because I think he writes very well and he writes very smoothly, where it's not too like jumbled up, where you don't have to worry about not understanding, like you can understand what's going on in here. So I loved it, and I love nonfiction books that deal with physics or space or astronomy and all that stuff. So this definitely was right up my alley. Oh, I gave this book, I think, 3.5 stars. So there's that. After that, I read my very first graphic novel, and that is Pumpkin Heads by Rainbow Rowell and illustrations by Faith Erin Hicks. This was so cute. I gave this 4 stars. I loved it. It gave me all the pumpkin patch, fall, autumn, all of that. It gave me all the feels, all the vibes. Even just the color palette in this graphic novel really makes it feel like a very fall type book. And so I really enjoyed it. I think it was so cute. But basically this book is about 2 friends who are seniors, and I believe this is their last day at a pumpkin patch. They work at a pumpkin patch together, and because it's their last day and it's their senior year, they decide to go around the pumpkin patch and, you know, go to all the different booths, play the different games, try all the different food, which they didn't get to do before. And while they're doing that, they also catch feelings for each other. So it's super cute and adorable, and the backdrop is this fall pumpkin patch. Like, come on, that's so up my alley. So this was adorable, and I definitely recommend reading it, especially now since we're still in October. It's really cute. After that, I read The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. 5 out of 5 stars. I don't really need to say much about this book. I made a previous video, which was a review video on it, and I said everything I needed to say in that video. Beautiful, phenomenal. Angie Thomas is like such a wonderful writer. I can't wait till I read her other work on the come up, I believe, and other works she'll be having or releasing in the future. This was just great, and that's all I gotta say. And if you haven't read it, please read it. After that, I read The Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. And I know, how come I haven't read The Crooked Kingdom yet? I don't know. I read Six of Crows years ago when it first released, and I just haven't picked up Crooked Kingdom after that. This book isn't a book I really like that much, and please don't come for me. Please don't chop off my head. I gave it about 3.5 stars. Towards the end, it was more like a 4-star read, but if I have to rate the whole book, 3.5 stars. And honestly, I mean, I feel like it's because I changed as a reader. Because when I read Six of Crows years ago, I really, really liked that book a lot. But I feel like if I read Six of Crows now, I wouldn't like it as much. Same thing with Crooked Kingdom. If I read this years ago, I probably would have enjoyed it, but because I'm reading it now, or read it now, I didn't enjoy it as much. The characters weren't that bad. Like, my favorite was Nina, Inej, and Jesper. I love them so much. Kaz was okay. I mean, I know people really love Kaz a lot, but he wasn't really my favorite. As for the whole book itself, I felt like it was pretty slow paced. There were a lot of action-packed scenes. I wasn't really interested in the plot as much, and I wasn't really invested in the characters as much either. And I know a lot of people love it, and I could see why people love it. Like, from an objective standpoint, I could see why people love it, but for me, it just wasn't it, guys. I'm sorry, it was not it. I mean, I'm still gonna read Leigh Bardugo's other works, but it just wasn't it. And that's because I've just changed as a reader. I read a little differently. My reading tastes have changed, so that's really the reason why. I don't think there's any problems with the characters or the story or anything like that. It's just the way the things I like as a reader have changed. So that's it. So that's just totally my opinion. Please don't come for me. I know. I know everyone loves it in the book community, but it just wasn't up my alley. Last but not least, the last book I read in the past 3 months is Nun Shall Sleep by my favorite author, L.A. Marnie, who read the Every series. And yes, I'm going to bring it up over and over again because I love L.A. Marnie. I love the Every series. We know this by now, but I'm still going to repeat it. This book was good. I gave it about 3.5 to 4 stars. This book is set back in the 1980s, and this is when the FBI was forming their behavioral analysis unit, I believe. And the FBI recruited 2 teenagers to help interview other teenage serial killers, to get to know them better, to understand serial killers better, because there's an active serial killer. So they're trying to use the information from these convicted serial killers to help them understand and find this active serial killer. The book overall, it was good. I do want to give trigger warnings. There is a lot of blood. There's some gory scenes. So if that's really something that makes your stomach churn, I wouldn't really pick it up because there's a lot of that, lots of blood scenes. It's very bloody. Some creepy scenes too, but aside from that, it was a good book. I enjoyed it. My only thing with this book is I do feel like it was kind of slow paced. It wasn't my favorite book by L.A. Marnie, but I do feel like it was a little slow paced, the whole book, and there weren't a lot of surprises for me personally. Like, the surprises weren't very surprising to me. It wasn't very shocking. So I didn't feel like it was anything too spectacular in that sense, but I still really did enjoy the book. I loved the whole FBI, concept in this book, and I read it at the right time because around this time of the year, I get into my serial killer phase. Like, I'm here watching interviews on Wikipedia, binging Criminal Mind episodes again, and so I read this basically at the right time because it has to do with serial killers and all of that stuff. This book reminds me of Mindhunter. Like, Mindhunter is such a great show. If you haven't watched it, please watch Mindhunter. I love that show. But this feels like Mindhunter, but teenage version. I think it was good. I do recommend it, but just be warned, it's a little bit slow paced and there's a lot of bloody scenes. Alright guys, so that concludes my wrap up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, I read 8 books, so not a lot. So hopefully the next 3 months I get to read more, or at least I motivate myself to read more. Probably not gonna happen, but I can make an effort. But aside from that, please stay safe. Please stay healthy. Please take care of yourself and others around you. And we'll get through this, guys. We'll get through all of this together. But other than that, hopefully you're having a wonderful day, night, evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.